यस्यान्तन्नादिमध्यं न हि करचरणं नामगोत्रं न सूत्रं नो जातिर्नैव वर्णा न भवति पुरुषो न नपुंसं न च स्त्री नाकारं नो विकारं न हि जनिमरणं नास्ति पुण्यं न पापं तत्त्वं नो तत्त्वमेकं सहजसमरसं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं परिशिष्टान्तेव सदृशिगणैरावृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दरूपं स्वात्मारामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वेदान्तार्थविभासकायेतये शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादिनगेन्द्रसङ्घपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततं पूर्णाय बोधात्मने अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि। देहं मृण्मयवज्जडात्मकम् अहं बुद्धिर्न तस्यास्त्यतो नाहं तत्तदभावसुप्तिसमये सिद्धात्मसद्भावतः कोऽहं भावयुतः कुतो वरधिया दृष्ट्वात्मनिष्ठात्मनाम् सोऽहं स्फूर्तितया अरुणाचलशिवः पूर्णो विभाति स्वयं करुणापूर्णसुधाब्धे कबलितघनविश्वरूप किरणावल्या अरुणाचलपरमात्मन् अरुणो भवचित्तकञ्जसुविकासाय त्वयि अरुणाचल सर्वं भूत्वा स्थित्वा प्रलीनमेतच्चित्रम् हृद्यहमित्यात्मतया नृत्यसि भोः ते वदन्ति हृदयं नाम अहमिति कुत आयातीत्यन्विष्यान्तः प्रविष्टयात्यमलधियाम् अवगम्य स्वं रूपं शाम्यत्यरुणाचलत्वयि नदीवाब्धौ त्यक्त्वा विषयं बाह्यं रुद्धप्राणेन रुद्धमनसान्तस्त्वां ध्यायन् पश्यति योगी दीधितिम् अरुणाचलत्वयि महीयं ते त्वय्यर्पितमनसा त्वां पश्यन् सर्वं तवाकृतितयां सततं भजते अनन्यप्रीत्या स जयत्यरुणाचलत्वयि सुखे मग्नः। हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं ह्यहमहमिति साक्षात् आत्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता वां पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्। यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः। चूडोत्तंसितचन्द्रचारुकलिकां चञ्जत्शिखाभास्वरो लीलादग्धविलोलकामशलभश्रेयो दशाग्रे स्फुरन् अन्तःस्फूर्जदपारमोहतिमिरप्राग्भारमुच्चाडयन् चेतसद्मनि योगिनां विजयते ज्ञानप्रदीपो हरः योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्नां अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यम्. It's pure grace of Bhagavan that we have all assembled here. A satsang becomes fruitful, spiritually beneficial when you get elevated either through bhakti or through jnana. Bhakti means you surrender. Jnanam means you get established in your real nature, or at least have a glimpse of that state which is timeless, spaceless, which is of the nature of pure awareness. In any case, the mind becomes quiet, or even if the mind is active, you have the peace, shanti. That is the essence, shanti. The entire Vedic wisdom is condensed in that one word, that is shanti. To consciously abide in shanti, in peace, we call it as yoga. Whatever may be the path, it is yoga. Whether it is jnana, yoga, bhakti, yoga, karma, yoga, raja, yoga. Everything is yoga. I know that most of the Westerners who come to Tiruvannamalai will be very familiar with yoga as such. And the definition of yoga is also very well known. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Cessation of the vritti, the thoughts, is yoga. This is the first definition given by the great teacher Patanjali. But in the next verse, he redefines it. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. When the mind becomes quiet, when the thoughts are no more disturbing you, then the seer abides in his real nature. Tada means then, drashtuhu, the drashta means the seer, avasthanam abides, swarupe, in his real nature. So a satsang becomes fruitful if it makes you at least for a moment abide in the self, in the Atman. We call it Atman in his Sanskritam. Bhagavan uses the word Swarupa. That is the word that he has used much, Swarupa. And of course Patanjali also likes to call it a Swarupa. Tada drashtuhu swarupe avasthanam. Avasthanam means sitting, abiding. The seer sits in himself, abides in himself. And the purpose of listening is that the listener at a very auspicious moment turns towards something within him, his own existence as I am. The Chit. So that is real Arunachala. That Arunachala you can never miss. Wherever you go, you have that Arunachala in your heart. And now as Amma said, he could have had more days, because just to come into that current, even to start contemplating on it, it will take time. Arunachala Ashtakam, as he said, it is 8 verses. I don't know whether we will cross the 3rd verse or 4th verse. Anyhow, it is just a method, a foundation for the talks. Arunachala. Bhagavan said, what is Arunachala? You are all here. I need not tell you what is Arunachala. I don't know when that person is here. One devotee came to me. He is coming somewhere from, I think he's from United States. Once he asked in Ramanashram, that I am coming to Tiruvannamalai for the first time. I have read Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's book. It's so rational, so much deeply spiritually appealing. But when I come here, I find this curious habit of going around the hill. How is it connected to self-inquiry, Atma-vichara? Fortunately, I didn't answer him because I was in urgency. I was about to leave some travel. So I said, I will talk to you if I see you next time. So I went away. After perhaps 1 month, I was going in this road towards the ashram somewhere. I saw this person with all bhasma, whole body bhasma, and going around the hill. Then I remembered, he asked me this question. Then I asked him, you only asked me why people are doing this ridiculous thing, going around the hill with all bhasma. Now you are doing, how did this happen? And he said, I stayed here with Arunachala. I am staying here for more than a month here. Naturally, he taught me this. Somehow I was initiated by, of course, words are necessary. Words are indicators. They can indicate you. We call it mudra. That mudra. A great teacher comes, an acharya comes to you, and he tells you Tattvamasi. You are that. And when the words have so much power, the Shastra says Shabda Shaktehe Achintyatvat. There is an Achintya Shakti, inscrutable power in Shabda. That Shabda means word. And especially when it comes from the heart of an enlightened being, that has a mysterious power in it. Just like you need the presence of a master like Bhagavan, like that the voice, the Shabda of a Jnani. It is like the celestial waters of Ganga, something which comes from, we call it Akasha Ganga. We are in Nanagaru Ashram. Somewhere I remember this one word, I do not know Telugu, but somewhere 96 when he gave a talk in Ramanashram, only one word I remember, he used this same epithet. He said Akasha Ganga. This Akasha Ganga means the Mauna, the silence. We call it Paravak, the transcendental word. The transcendental word then slowly manifests as an idea. First, there is a throb, the Chit Spandana. Then it manifests as an idea. Then it becomes the word. Normally, when we speak, it is just word, not even thinking. We call it Vaikhari Shabda. And when it is recorded, not even that much life. But when a Jnani uses the word takes its birth from the Tirtha of Swanubhuti, that sacred Tirtha, the holy waters of Atmanubhava. Hence in Bhagavata, that great king who renounced everything in one day and went to the bank of Ganga to listen to the divine teaching of Shuka Brahma Maharshi. And there Bhagavata says, Bheje Khagendra Dhvajapadamulam Jnanena Vaiyasaki Shabditena. Just remember this. Jnanam is same. That Atma Jnana is same. But that Jnana has to come in the Shabda of Vaiyasaki. Vaiyasaki means the son of Vyasa. The sage who ever remained in that Nirvikalpa sthiti, his Shabda is needed to awaken a mumukshu, a seeker. So, that is why sages like Bhagavan, they have left for us their anubhuti, their experience in two streams. One stream contains pure bhakti. You need not even know much about what is written there, you just sing. It contains that samadhi. You just Akshara Manamala start singing. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. This is the mantra Bhagavan has given. And that mantra contains that self-realization of Bhagavan is there in that mantra. And his longing to attain that absorption in Arunachala, the route taken by him is there depicted in Aksharamanamala. All of you can listen, no? I'm just speaking. I'm not bothered about whether you are understanding. I have a peculiar theory. Understanding is not that which happens by straining your mind. You just listen. Something will flower from within. Slowly you will absorb. So if you don't understand, do not bother. If you feel sleepy, so many pillars are there. Of course you will not, I know. So So Bhagavan has given us this bhakti literature. Arunachala Stuti Panchakam. 5 verses on Arunachala. This is all his biography. Many have written Bhagavan's biography, but this is Bhagavan's autobiography. The true autobiography of Bhagavan is the longing he had, the yearning he had to attain oneness with Arunachala. When he was in Madurai, he was initiated. We know Ramana Maharshi as a Jivan Mukta, a liberated being who taught self-realization, pure jnanam. But Bhagavan says, I had no idea about jnanam. I had no idea about what self-realization means. We are all much educated than Bhagavan. Very well read. he was studying in the school, not even properly studying. He had no interest in that also. See, all these enlightened masters, they had no interest in schooling. Once, one of Bhagavan's teachers who taught him in school came to visit him as a sage. With great respect he came. I remember, I think he is his maths teacher. So he came and with bhakti, he did not consider Bhagavan as a student. With bhakti he came and did namaskar and said, Swami, I have something to ask. Bhagavan said, fearing your question, I ran away from Madurai to Tiruvannamalai. And now you come here, chase me here to further ask questions. So, when he was in Madurai, see, it's an ecstatic episode. Just like any other boy, interested only in sports, playing football, but something deep was there. He was carrying in his heart something very profound, which Bhagavan is saying in this Arunachala Ashtakam. Something unnamed, no tag, no sticker, no name for it. Something profound was there, waiting to be unlocked. Day before yesterday, I was talking in Tamil in the Yogi Ashram on Shankaracharya's Shivananda Lahari. The very name is ecstatic, Shivananda Lahari. Ananda means bliss, bliss of Shiva, and Lahari means inundation. So this is the name of that work. There was one verse in that where Shankaracharya says, a state of samadhi, or you can call it pre-samadhi. It's like a very well laden cloud, a dark cloud. The cloud which is ready to shower, like that, there is a state before the awakening. The heart is carrying profound intimation of the forthcoming spiritual experience. I think all of you will understand, because without that you will not be here. Before coming to Arunachala, before truly knowing about spiritual life, there is something very deep. You feel it. You feel the fragrance of the divine. You do not know what it is, but something is there deep. Like that was Bhagavan in Madurai. Outwardly he was playing, outwardly he was like any other boy, but he used to sit alone in a room, absorbed, still. And in this Arunachala Ashtakam, Bhagavan says, I was carrying that state right from the womb of my mother. Before even the brain, intellect developed. Arivarum Shiruvayad Adu Mudal. Even in my babyhood, infanthood, we can say, even before any conscious intellectualization. Something profound was there in him. And all that opened one day. This happens to every seeker. Something will happen. You get the intimation that such a life exists. Some person came after a pilgrimage. We do not know who he was. He came to their house and this boy asked, "Where are you coming from?" You all might have read that, but Bhagavan himself says this in this Ashtakam. Where are you coming from? And that person uttered a mantra. Mantra means one word which can awaken you is mantra. Mananat trayate iti mantra. You just contemplate on it, you become free. You become enlightened. So that person, when Bhagavan asked him, he said Arunachalam. See, I have something to say about this now. Arunachala has two names. One is Arunachala. What is the second? Tamil? Tamil, what do you say? Thiruvannamalai, Annamalai, right? But how many of you are completely saying that? Now I hear very a new invention. People say Tiru, Tiru, Tiru. I don't know what. You have got a chance to utter that divine name either as Thiruvannamalai or as Arunachala. You have to utter the full name. And saints have said, whether consciously or unconsciously, you utter the name, you get the effect. You will be deeply affected by that. When you say Shiva, Shiva, once one devotee came to Bhagavan. He was his childhood friend. He came to meet his friend, not Ramana Maharshi. He was called Rogue. In his place, he was called Mani. His name is Mani, perhaps Subramaniam. But in his place, he was called Rogue Mani, Pokri Mani. But when he came to Bhagavan, he came boasting, I know him from his childhood. I want to catch hold of his ear and bring him back to Madurai. With that kind of boasting he came. But the moment he saw Bhagavan in Virupaksha cave, he just saw, he later on said, I wanted to meet my friend, but what I saw there was Arunachala. It is Arunachala Shiva sitting there. So I just fell flat. Then he refused to go. Then every day he used to ask Bhagavan, give me some teaching so that my mind will become quiet. Bhagavan will not move, he will just keep quiet. He did not answer. So every day he will come. One day he caught hold of Bhagavan's feet and said, I will not leave you if you are not going to rescue me, initiate me. Bhagavan said, usually it's a way of saying in Tamil. He said, Vida, Vida. Vida, Vida means leave me, leave me. And Bhagavan added, Shiva Shiva Summa. Bhagavan said, Summa is Bhagavan's teaching, generally, Summa means what? Be still. Be still. That is enough. But Bhagavan added Shiva Shiva Summa. And he caught hold of many of other people, they caught hold of the Summa. But he caught hold of that Shiva Shiva. And that, from that moment, that mantra became alive in him. And it got mixed with his breath, with his blood. Vishwanatha Swami has written about him, said he used to shine like a Brahmajnani in his olden days and constantly chanting Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva. And do Shayana Pradakshanam, we call, roll around Bhagavan's couch, chanting Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva. See, this Nama has so much effect, You cannot do any other sadhana, simply take it. Bhagavan himself says how he attained self-realization. He will say death experience. But you know what Bhagavan says? I just remembered your Nama and you came to me. பெயர் நினைத்திடவே பிடித்து இழுத்தனையுன் பெருமையார் அறிவார் அருணாச்சலர். Arunachala, who knows your glory? I just heard your name. I heard Arunachalam. Arunachalam ena ahame ninaipavar. The moment I took that capsule of divine experience within, the mind became quiet, the ego, the I thought just vanished. Arunachalam ena ahame ninaipavar. What is the next line? Ahattai. I want some Western devotees to say that. These people know everything. All Tamil, no? This is a mantra, no? This is a mantra. Arunachalam ena ahame ninaipavar. Means you take the Nama Arunachala, just contemplate. We have mind means thoughts. This is also a form of thought. You take it inside. Ahattai verarupai Arunachala. The ego sense, the I thought just vanishes. The ahankara is gone. There is shanti. There is peace. That is real Arunachala. So, when Bhagavan said Shiva Shiva, this mani caught hold of it, and that became his mantra, that became alive in him, and that was his whole sadhana. Like that in Bhagavan's life also, this Arunachalam, this name became like a key to open the profound treasure house of spiritual experience. Just like putting a key, it opens. He heard the Nama Arunachalam. The first thing was the inner opening, and the next thing was what happened to him. When you invite Shiva, he comes. And who is he? He is death. Death came to him. Death experience bloomed, happened. Then he felt, I am going to die. So it's very risky, When you invite Shiva, he comes to you. The Veda says, Mrityave Swaha. Mrityave Swaha. Offering yourself to death. So Arunachala came to him. And Arunachala, the name means, first it means the hill also. And then Bhagavan says, it is the I within you. It is your real nature. Hridi ahamitti nrityasi bhoho te vadanti hridayam nama. The real nature of Arunachala, to know Arunachala, you have to know your real nature. If you want to know Arunachala, you have to know yourself. It is like that. If I have to know you, I have to know myself. Otherwise, I consider myself as this body, then I make the same mistake with you also. If I consider myself as the mind, I pay attention to your mind also. But when I know who I am, what is my real nature, then I have known everything. When I am really initiated, initiation happens through some mantra, but the true initiation is that your whole attention turns towards the inner existence as I, as Aham. Entire Bhagavan's teaching we can summarize. It is the implied essence of I. To know that I am not the body. The body never says I. The I is something which you experience always, constantly. Even in a dark room, you sit. You have the experience of I. Have you ever asked what it means? You sit in a dark room. You know you exist. And Bhagavan says, I am taking the essence of this Arunachala Ashtakam here, there. He says, this is true Arunachala. Irund Olir. Something which exists and which is effulgent. You sit in a dark room, you know you exist. The existence, experience, effulgence, I. Sattva bhasika, chitkvavetara, sattayahi chit, chittayahi aham. The aham, the chit, sat, bhasa means the effulgence. It's all same. Something is within you constantly. You don't need any outer thing for this. The outer guru comes to you to tell you, look there. When people used to ask Bhagavan, I have a doubt. Generally Bhagavan said, find out the doubter. Who is asking this question? Who is having this doubt? It is me. And what is this me? What is this I? It needs tremendous attention. Our bhakti, other sadhanas, everything helps to make the mind focused towards one's own existence. The throb within as I. Shankaracharya says this is the dance of Shiva. Balyadishvapi Jagradadishu tatha Sarvasu avasthasvapi Vyavrittasu anuvartamanam Aham iti antaspurantam sadam Swatmanam prakatikaroti bhajatam Yo mudraya bhadrayam Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namayidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. Shankaracharya's very well known Dakshinamurti Stava. In fact, it is said that Shankaracharya wrote this verse from Tiruvannamalai. There is one story about that also. He wrote Dakshinamurti Stava from Arunachala. Because Arunachala represents Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti means Shiva who radiated Brahmajnana through silence. Just as Bhagavan did that Maunam. Just now we had the Shivaratri. One Shivaratri day, many devotees were assembled before Bhagavan, and one devotee asked, Bhagavan, can you speak something about Dakshinamurti Stotram? These 9 verses on Dakshinamurti. Bhagavan said, oh, Panalame, he will do it. And all devotees, they were ready to listen because Bhagavan is going to give some talks on Dakshinamurti. So they were all waiting. They were eagerly looking at Bhagavan. Bhagavan just made himself erect, sat like that. And it was about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I don't remember exactly the time which is written, the record. It is Shivaratri day, very true Shivaratri. And they were waiting, they all closed their eyes slowly. And T.K. Sundareshwarayar, the devotee who wrote it, he says, after some time I opened my eyes, it was already sunrise. It was such a profound silence. It's Nishala Tattvam, that Mauna of Dakshinamurti. Not a single word was uttered. Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam. Shankaracharya says, through Mauna, that Parabrahma Tattvam, that Brahma Tattvam, the knowledge of Brahman was transmitted very clearly as experience, directly given from the heart to the heart. Not a single word was spoken. Can we sit like that? We will be ready. That is Arunachala. That is real Bhagavan Dakshinamurti. Our words are also just, it's just to take us to that Maunam only. That is the purpose. Maunam means real Maunam is the nature of the self, pure consciousness. So we will see the first verse. We have already given the essence of it. Bhagavan says, Arivarum Giri Ana Amartarum Amma Atishayam Itan Shayal Arivaridarkum Arivaru Shiruvayadadu Mudal Arunachalam Mihapperidana Arivinilanga Arigilan Adan Purul Adi Tiruvannamalai Oruvaral Arivura Petrum Aruhurum Amayamidu Arivinai Maruluru Taruginil Irka Aruhurum Amayamid Achalama Kande. This is the verse. Bhagavan says this Arunachala, this hill Arunachala, looks like an inert mountain. Arivarum Giri. The Giri means hill, mountain. Arivaru means no knowledge. What can a mountain give you? How can a mountain become a teacher? I will tell you one instant, because I think some of you are waiting for some story. When some of us were walking in a beach in Cochin in Kerala, one of that devotee who asked the question is also here. An elderly professor, he was with us. And the evening there was a satsang, so we were morning there and seeing the sea. It was very beautiful, and I told him, in Bhagavatam, at Dattatreya, the great sage, he took spiritual inspiration from many places, and one of his guru is this ocean. He says, this ocean is also a guru for me. Sometimes this, a mountain, ocean or forest, anything can initiate you. And this ocean is also a guru. Samudra is a guru. And I started chanting one verse from Bhagavad Gita. Tvamadideva purushah puranah Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam Vettasi vedyam cha param cha dhama Tvaya tatam vishwam ananta rupa. This verse. And this professor said, how can an ocean become guru? Ocean is inert, it cannot teach us. If we want to learn Bhagavad Gita, we have to come to you or some other person who knows it, and we have to learn from him. And then he was a small child at that time. He came to me with a small paper from the ocean, from the sea. The waves have brought it, a small paper. He took that paper and gave it to me. I just read it. Tvamadideva purushah puranah Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam. The exact verse I was chanting from Bhagavad Gita, it came in that waves. That sea brought it, and one after the other, another verse, another paper, almost we got the whole Bhagavad Gita from I've kept it in my puja room, in my worship room. I've kept the whole bunch. So, there is nothing called inert thing. Everything is alive. The entire existence is divine. The Upanishad says, Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Yatkinja jagatyam jagat. Whatever you consider as inert, clothe it with God. Cover everything with God. Everything is divine. There is nothing which is not divine. Anything can become your teaching. Anything can spiritually awaken you. At the same time, there are some special manifested Vibhuti, we call it, spiritually awakening centers. They have some special, they can, in spite of you, they can enter you. Arunachala is like that. So Bhagavan says, it looks like an inert mountain. Amma Atishayam, he says it's a wonder. Because Arunachala is Bhagavan's Acharya, it is Bhagavan's master. People think Ramana Maharshi had no guru. He had a very powerful guru and he never left his guru. All his life he lived with his guru. And Paul Brenton writes, something of that mountain has entered his being. That same nature of stillness. No? Muruganar has written, even Arunachala became ashamed that I am not still like him. என்ன பாட்டு இது? அம்மா அதிசயம் அச்சலவும் நாண சும்மா இருந்ததோர் ஸ்வரூபம். Achalavum nana means even the mountain became ashamed. That kind of a disciple he was, so much he absorbed Arunachala into him. So here he says, Arivaragiri amartarum amma adishayam. When a devotee takes another devotee to his guru, he says, don't consider him as an ordinary human being. Because this disciple is coming for the first time. So he says he will look like an ordinary human being. He is not a normal, ordinary human being. He is Brahman. He is God. He is one with that. Like that, the disciple will introduce his master. Like that, Bhagavan is introducing Arunachala to us. He says, Arunachala will appear like any other mountain, but don't think that Arunachala is only made of boulders and rocks. It is made of pure consciousness. It is made of Chaitanya. You can say it is made of Chaitanya consciousness. Bhagavan says it is made of pure love. It is made of pure compassion. Karuna Purna Sudhabdhe. Bhagavan looks at Arunachala and he says it is made of solidified nectar. Go and taste it. You have come all the way here, no? You have to taste that nectar with your heart, not with the tongue. Arunachala is solidified nectar. Karuna Purna Sudha. Sudha means nectar. Ambrosia. Very sweet. And that sweetness you have to taste with your heart. Karuna Purna Sudhabde. Kabalidghana Vishwarupa. Bhagavan said, I came to Arunachala. I wanted to swallow Arunachala. See, this is bhakti. It's very common language. When you like a child, you say, I want to swallow him. Bhagavan says, so much love woke up in my heart that I wanted to swallow Arunachala. But when I came here, suddenly I found he swallowed me. Now I don't exist. Only Arunachala exists. And Bhagavan also started doing the same work. Muruganar says, you are a pure vegetarian, a Brahmin. Brahmins are supposed to be pure vegetarians. So Muruganar in one of his songs, he says, you are a pure vegetarian. From where did you pick up this habit of eating people? Andanar Marabudayan. You have come in the Andanar Marabu, in the lineage of Brahmins, and you have started eating people. Pailum talam yaduvo, kolai pailvittavar yavaro. Who trained you in this art of murder. He is saying it is kolai. Kolai means is actually murder. It is killing. Killing the ego. So who taught you this art? Because he experienced it in Bhagavan's presence. He ran away from ashram first time. He said, it is murderous. He said, he wants to finish me off. The ego is just erased. So here, coming to Arunachala, Bhagavan says it is not a hill. It is pure nectar, pure amrita. But when we come here, he just swallows the body, the mind, the ego. It's pure samadhi. Kabalita Gana Vishwarupa. And in the next verse, Bhagavan says, you are in my heart dancing as I, aham. This is the impact of initiation. First you come not deeply aware of the teaching. You have only bhakti. You need only that much. When you come to a guru, you come with bhakti, unprepared to receive, but later on you carry this something very profound in your heart. Then you slowly start seeing that the Guru is not something who pulls your mind out. Something deep is implanted in you as aham, as I. The mantra of Arunachala is that. The mudra of Dakshinamurti is that. All of you have this feel of I. It's so simple. At the same time, you have to churn it out. The churning has to happen. That is Atma Vichara. That is Manana, Nididhyasana. We call it Nididhyasana, deep contemplation. The listening has to make the mind such pure that purity arises and you start listening to the I within, the aham within. So here in Arunachala Ashtakam, Bhagavan says Arunachala is not a mere rocky hill. It is not an unintelligent figure. Arivaru Giri. You cannot fathom how it works in the human heart. Atishayam itan shayal. The influence of an enlightened being on his people around him cannot be easily found out how it works. No, even animals received Bhagavan's presence, even birds, even trees and plants received his presence. In Bhagavata we see Krishna, when he just took his flute, all the cows, all the deers, all the birds, all the peacocks, they were just dancing. Everyone received that presence. This we saw in Ramanashram, in Bhagavan's presence, how it influenced profoundly everyone there. So Adishayamitan Shayal, the impact is very profound, unfathomable. Arivarudarkum. And now Bhagavan begins his autobiography. He says, Adi Arivaru Shiruvayadadu Mutal. From my childhood, right from my younger age, before I learnt anything, before I read any book, somewhere deep down there was this feel of Arunachala. Arunachalam Migaperidayana Arivinilanga. Arunachalam is something very profound. Arunachalam is something which cannot be expressed in words. It was there in my heart, deep within me. But I was not aware what it is. Arigilanathan Porul. I have no knowledge about what it meant. Something very deep. Arigilan Athan Porul. Then one day one person came and he uttered the name Arunachala, and this boy stood transfixed. He felt, is it possible that a person can go to Arunachala and return? Is it possible that you come to Arunachala and go back embodied? If you have truly come to Tiruvannamalai, you have to leave your body here. Ready? And you can leave your body only by jnanam, not by dying. Death means you leave this body, you take another body. And truly living the body means you know that I have nothing to do with this body. The body is there. I am the infinite reality in which this body also appears and disappears. Every day it disappears. No? In deep sleep, there is no body. Every day you have the experience where the body is not, the mind is not, the I feeling is not. And you wake up and say, I had very nice, happy feeling. You want to go back. Just go back. And no world, no body. And consciously you know that in your real nature there is no body or mind or world. It is Satchidananda. That is the way of living the body. When you come to Arunachala, you go back with that awareness, with that knowledge. So here Bhagavan says, Arigilan Adan Purul, I was not aware of what it meant. And this person came and told me, gave me actually a misinformation. He said it is Tiruvannamalai. அது திருவண்ணாமலை என ஒருவரால் அறிவுறப் பெற்றும். It is in somebody has given you this wrong information. That is why all of you have taken so much effort to come here. Bhagavan says, actually it is a wrong information. Otherwise he would have remained in Madurai. He says it is a place It is a spot where I have to reach. No, it is not Vedanta. Vedanta means stop all knowing, no more movement, no more going, no more reaching, no more achieving, no more work to do, no homework. The truth is here now. It has already happened to you as your own existence. It is not somewhere. You would not have come here also. There is nothing to achieve, nothing to attain, nowhere to go. But this person said Arunachala means it is a place. Now you search Arunachalam in Google, it will say it is a district, Tiruvannamalai. So Bhagavan says that person told me this, adu Tiruvannamalai ena oruvaral arivurappetrum Arivinai maruluruthu. My real true nature was covered for some time. And why did Arunachala do that? Bhagavan says, so that I will come to this place. Aruginil irka. He can pull me, physically lift me from Madurai to Tiruvannamalai. So that I will make this movement, outward movement. Arugurum amayam. When I came here, Bhagavan had the vision of Arunachala. Right from the railway station. When he entered, Achalama Kanden. I saw it as still. As stillness. Nishala-tattvam. Shankaracharya says, that is the fruit of satsanga. Satsangatve nissangatvam. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve nishalatattvam. Nishalatatve jivan muktihi. When you have true satsanga, you listen to the Upanishad, to the Vedanta Mahavakya, slowly, gently, you gain detachment. No more you get mixed with worldly things. And then the next step is freedom of delusion, freedom from delusion. No more delusion, nirmohatva. And the recognition that you are the self happens. Nirmohatve nishalatattvam. The true quietude, stillness happens. And such a person is a Jivan Mukta, a liberated being. So Bhagavan says, the moment his feet touched Arunachala, looked at Arunachala, it was all still. Achala. That is one meaning. Another meaning is, I saw the Achala means I saw the mountain. You can just say, he came here and looked at Arunachala. The disciple comes to the master, and the most dearmost thing for him is the first darshan of his master. Something which he can never forget. How he saw his teacher is something which he can never forget. Sometimes it happens very mysteriously. When Shankaracharya was moving about from one place to another, somewhere in Karnataka, a boy was going to the forest to take woods, fuel. And he saw in the street this great sage walking with many of his devotees and disciples, and this boy just followed him. Not even the thought occurred that my parents will be searching for me. He just walked with Shankaracharya. And in Kashi, he was initiated. From Karnataka till Kashi, it was a big crowd. Nobody inquired about this boy who was with them. He got food and he was just walking with him. So this strange attraction for a divine being. It happened for many with Bhagavan also. Just have one vision of him, you cannot forget. Like that Bhagavan here says about his first vision of Arunachala. He says, I came and looked at Arunachala. It is still. Achalama Kanden. Then in the next verse, Bhagavan says, Arunachala initiated me. See, always this initiation happens. It is not outward, but the initiation happened for Bhagavan also. Arunachala said, look within. You cannot even claim, I saw Arunachala. Kandavan yavanana karuttinullada kandavan indrida nindrathu kandem. You just inquire who saw, who is the seer. And you feel the eye, search the eye to the source, then the eye emerges there. Then you have the experience that you cannot even claim I saw. Kandanan endrida karuttelavillai. I cannot say I saw. I can neither say I did not see. This is the sagely language. Paroksha priya ivahi devaha. The Veda says they never say anything direct. If you ask them, you have realized? I don't know. No answer. Or sometimes they will say something else. And Bhagavan says, I can neither say I have found him, I cannot deny also the experience. Kandilan endrida karuttelumarin. And who started this tradition? From whom this celestial river of self-knowledge has started flowing. You know Shiva's photo, you might have seen from his jata. This Ganga is jumping out. Like that from Dakshinamurti, the Mauna Guru. All the divine beings sat before him asking for teaching. First Shiva gave them teaching verbally. Again and again they will come next day asking questions, doubts. And one day he kept quiet. Still. When Bhagavan told this story like this, Muruganar, one of Bhagavan's devotees, he said, Bhagavan, we have not heard this story like this. We have only heard this Devas, Sanat Kumara, Sanandana, they went to Dakshinamurti and Dakshinamurti kept quiet. We have never heard that Dakshinamurti spoke for 1 year. Bhagavan said, Appadidan nadandaduvai. He said it happened like that. Then Muruganar said, oh, only Dakshinamurti will know. How can we know? So when Bhagavan says it happened like that, it should have happened like that. So Dakshinamurti started this tradition of silent eloquence, transmitting Brahma Vidya through Maunam. Through silence, this knowledge is given to the disciple. Gurostu Maunam Vyakhyanam. Guru's eloquence is silence. Shishyastu Chinna Samshayaha. And all the disciples, their doubts were all removed. They were all established in the true being. So here Bhagavan says, Vindidu Vilakkidu Viraluruvoon are Vindilai Pandini Vilakkinai Endral. Pandu means in the ancient time. You as Shiva gave this teaching without uttering a word, through silence. Hence, normally a human teacher cannot do that. Silence is possible, but to communicate the profound teaching through silence is not usually not possible. And all our scriptures say, you go to a teacher, ask for the teaching, submit yourself, and the teacher will give you the teaching. Tadviddhi pranipatena pariprasnena. You have to ask questions, clear your doubt. Sevaya, you have to serve the master. Upadekshyanti jnanam, the teacher will give you the teaching. He will, upadesha will be given. Clear, removing the doubts, giving you crystal clear knowledge. You have to receive it from an authentic master. A Pramanika Acharya, we call it Pramanika Acharya, authentic master who has come in the tradition, receive it. But very rarely you will get a Pramanika Acharya communicating this in silence, Maunam. And to continue that tradition, Bhagavan says the same Dakshinamurti took the form of hell. As Arunachala, Vindidadu unnilai vilakkida endre, to emanate, to propagate, to give the teaching without uttering a single word, the best form is the form of the hill. Hence he took the form of the hill, Vindalam achalama vilangida nindrai. As this mountain touching the sky and earth, you stand here constantly communicating Tattvamasi. Bhagavan says, whenever you look at Arunachala, Arunachala is telling you, you are that. You remember this when you look at Arunachala. Every time you look at Arunachala, that is why Bhagavan, the moment he looks at Arunachala, he will be lost. He says, every moment Arunachala is telling me, Tattvamasi, you are that. Tattvamasi Aruna Purulam. These are all not my words. These are all just translation of Bhagavan's words. Achalat artham ghanam at ahum. Achalam means prajnana ghana. Just like in deep sleep, the consciousness alone remains. No body, no name, form, no I, no thoughts. Only still Maunam. That is Achalam. And Aruna means Tattvamasi. You are that. You are the self. Remember constantly that you are the pure self. You are not the limited body. You are not the mind. You are not the intellect. You are the Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava. You are the eternal, ever pure, ever free Atma, that Shuddha Chaitanya. You can even say this to yourself, no? There are many methods to take the mind to the meditative state. You can just say, I am the Self, I am the Atma. Nijabodha Rupa, I am the Atma. Mano Buddhya Ahankara Chittani Naham Naja Shrotra Jihve Naja Ghrana Netre Naja Vyoma Bhumirna Tejo Na Vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Shankaracharya has written so many verses declaring, I am the Shiva, I am the Shiva. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am the pure auspiciousness self. You just constantly tell yourself that I am the self, I am the pure one. I am not the body, I am not the mind. I am not this jiva or this ego. I am infinite like the space. I am the pure Shiva. You can just meditate like that also, constantly asserting within that I am the Atma. I am nothing to do with this limited body. To give that teaching only Arunachala is there. Many people come to Tiruvannamalai, and some of us we really feel that we were not fortunate to see Bhagwan physically. But you can see Bhagwan's Guru physically. We are not less fortunate. If you can take teaching from Bhagwan, you can take teaching from Arunachala. Bhagwan was also like Arunachala still. And the teaching is given in the book lore. Ulladinarpadu, Upadesha Saram, talks with Ramana Maharshi. The teaching is there. And you want the physical presence of the Master, Arunachala is there. And he is physically manifest before you. And Bhagavan has recorded that Arunachala is his Guru. And Arunachala has clearly given him the teaching. And if you of course need a physical master, he will give you. He will manifest before you in some form and communicate this teaching to you also. That is also possible. So to surrender you need an outer manifestation. And Bhagavan says, here is that outer manifestation. And he is here to communicate the highest Vedanta. And what is Arunachala? Vedantate Veru Ara Vilangum Veda Porul Arul Arunachala. He says, you are the essence of Vedanta. You are the essence of Vedas, Veda Porul. And you shine forth in the Upanishad as the non-dual wisdom. Veru Ara Vilangum Veda Porul. So you worship Arunachala, you chant that Shivanama, Arunachala Shiva. And you love Arunachala. And the day you want to swallow Arunachala, he will swallow you. Mark my words. You should have such love to Arunachala that you want to eat Arunachala. Then you will not go back. Because he will eat you. He will swallow you. The Jnaneshwara, one of the greatest of sages, he has written Amrita Anubhava, where he says Shiva's first disciple was Parvati, his own consort. The divine consort of Shiva is Parvati. So she wanted to swallow Shiva. She swallowed half of Shiva and Shiva swallowed half of Parvati. And they both joined together. Still that divine sport is happening in the universe. This is creation. He says this is the creation that is happening here. And Shankaracharya has written same like that a verse also. Tvaya hritva vamam vapuraparitripte namanasa sharirardham shambho aparamapi shanke hritamabhut. But here it is not partial swallowing. He will swallow you alive completely. And no more this I will be there inside. Somebody asked Bhagavan, you say there is no I, but you are speaking to us. At that time, that radio was there. And Bhagavan's attendant Krishna Swami will constantly put radio. And if he is not liking some person, he will see to it that he will put on the radio when you meditate. He will put on the radio. So, Bhagavan pointed to that radio and said, see, there is no person inside, but it is speaking. Like that only is this body also. There is nobody inside. Only Asami Kadayadu Samidar. No individual sense, only Arunachala is there. So that is Arunachala Ashtakam for you. 2 verses we have taken. We have already taken 2 verses. Arivaru Giriyana Amartarumamma Atishayam Itan Sayal Arivarida. What do you Adarumam Atishayamitan Sayalari Varidarkum Ari Ashram Tumudalaruna Chalamiga Peridana Vindalam Achalama Vilangida Nindrai. You can also say Vintalam Achalama Vilangida Nindrai. It's very, I feel very sad you cannot understand Tamil. But Bhagavan says the entire space, you can call the sky, the blueness of sky stands revealed as still. Man means the earth, wind means either the space. Wind talam, you can say wind talam. Talam means earth and wind means akasha. But if you take it as wind talam as one word, Bhagavan says that akasha, the space, the blueness, you look at it, you feel that it is all filled with that nectar of mauna. It happens so, you have a profound meditation one day, you will feel like that everything is soaked in that mauna. Everything is soaked in that silence. That stillness is all around you. Many have written in Bhagavan's presence, the silence is so thick that it looks as if you can cut it with a knife. It's so dense. So this is that mauna. We should have that kind of profound mauna in our being. And that mauna is ananda. It is the true bliss, shanti. We will continue this 2 more days. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala. Whether 1 day or 2 day or 3 day, you have to take the teaching, the power of the teaching within you. Even hearing once is enough, because the teaching is same. This idea of getting something new is samsara. The same teaching again and again and again. Someday it will explode, someday it will be ecstatic, someday it will not happen, but we have to continue. As that Patanjali says in Yoga Sutra, Satu Dirghakala, for a long period. The secret of spiritual life is, do not expect quick results. This idea of getting something very quick, I come to Tiruvannamalai and go back realized in 1 week. It's all utter foolishness. Don't get deluded by such ideas. The first thing that you have to know is you don't need any enlightenment. The thing is, you need, of course, you need a physical discipline. You need an orderly sensory life. You need crystal clear knowledge, which the sages have given in the Upanishads. As given by Bhagavan. You need that teaching. It is the medicine that we are distributing here. This is a medical shop. This is pure Ayurvedic medicine. No? That Vedic medicine, not even Ayu. It is Vedic medicine. It's pure Marundu. Bhagavan calls Arunachala as Marundu. As Marundu, divine sacred medicine. You have to take this medicine and administer this medicine with highest discipline. And you need one quality with you, not expecting any result. I don't want anything. You just say that. Many spiritual problems you will solve. One day you don't feel like meditating. Sometimes meditators becomes very depressed because meditation is not happening. Then you just apply this medicine to you, tell you, I don't want anything. Bhagavan, you are there, I don't want anything. You alone exist, I don't exist. This is like a Mahamantra. You alone exist, I don't exist. Sri Ramakrishna used to say this. Divine Mother, you exist, I don't exist. That was like his mantra. Just like who am I? This is also a mantra. You alone exist, Bhagavan, I don't exist. The moment you say, you will become light. So remember this, we will continue tomorrow.